Right. So as part of policy form patterns, we must be knowing about what are the common configuration patterns in Guidewire Policy Center. Common configuration patterns, whenever we want to make some configurations and all, this can be for multiple purposes. One is about for form specific to any state or any kind of province, which is a mandate. Okay, because this is something for a state and province. This is part of jurisdictional trigger. Means when there is any pattern that we have initiated, when it can is considered that is for the jurisdictional trigger and all, automatically form specific to particular state province will be mandated here. So whenever we are configuring this, there should be a logic mechanism we have to be updated where we need to mention the policy data. Policy data means which jurisdiction is this belongs to. For example, it can be the kind of configuration pattern we are creating or policy form pattern we are creating only for a particular state or a province. So we have to configure only state. So when there is any policy submission has taken place for the particular state, that pattern of policy form pattern will be appeared. Otherwise, no. Okay. Either it can be for submission or it can be creation, cancellations, reinstatement, and all. It depends on the kind of line of business that we are belongs to. Second use case, let's say form required only when specific coverage is added. For example, non-commercial auto liability. Okay, non-commercial auto liability means a person working in a particular industry, for example, but he is using a personal vehicle, but he is going for a business trip. Okay, business purpose is going. He want to meet some other client. He is going. Okay, but it's a commercial auto. It's not a commercial auto. It's a non-commercial auto. But liability coverage is there. Why liability coverage? Because the person is driving there, but the kind of the vehicle that the person is using is personal auto. But the purpose of behind going is a commercial related. So coverage, for example, this is the coverage we have taken. So based on the coverage selection, just now I have told you, like because non-commercial auto liability, okay, or auto liability, non-commercial auto bodily injury or auto liability. And non-commercial means that vehicle is not a commercial one; it's a personal auto. But the purpose behind going in this vehicle is because of the business purpose, etc. So like this, for any specific coverage that is added, so you have to add the coverage ID as like the status here. Next, one more is, for example, adding an endorsement form for a specific high-risk driver properties. Means you are adding an endorsement form for high-risk driver properties. Means, for example, there is a high-risk driver where he has met with some accidents or any kind of traffic challenge were there. Therefore, that insurer wants some kind of endorsement form is required, which is to be added. This is automatically considered as a risk-based inclusion only. So that automatically it will be considered as a high-risk driver. So which must be updated and which must be covered under the risk class and the value. This is the mechanism. Next, for example, we are generating one form per covered vehicle or a building. Okay. For example, we are generating one form. Only one form we are creating for vehicle as separate and as well as building as separate. But you are updating multi-entity iterations. Why? Because this is one form. But as far as the coverage is concerned, either for vehicle or building can be used for anything. So it can be a multiple entry iteration has taken. So at this level, we need to consider the policy period loop into consideration. These are the basic patterns and the use cases we should know whenever we are working on the policies.